Welcome back to the Down with Flint Town podcast. Randall W. Scott III here with Raymond Asensio, the best. And we are ready to rock another. Yeah, I'm dropping the best on you right now. Boom! That's how we do it.
Known you for 32 years. I think that's the first time you called me Raymond. That's pretty cool.
There you go.
I like my name. I'm not one of those guys, don't call me that. Call me Ray. No, I like both my names.
All right, I love it. All right, just so you know off the top, Ray was doing the responsible thing. He's like, I'm going to turn the volume down on my phone. And I was like, nah, man, don't do that. I'm like, we're going to leave the phones on today. So if somebody just happens to randomly call us, we know we're taping this episode, but if somebody calls us during this, we're going to take the call live on air. That's just how it's going to be today. So it doesn't matter if it is a boss, a mom, I don't care. If somebody calls, we're on this.
Okay.
All right, Ray, what we starting with today? What we got?
All right, man, we got to mention the people that acknowledged us from our last episode, man. This was pretty interesting, man, because we had I think we had one response for a week, and that jumped up to 30. But no, I'm going to break it down real quick here. First thing I want to do is thank my buddy Justin Baldwin and Big Dan Selly. You know Big Dan Selly.
Big Dan Baldwin.
They always share our stuff, man, which is nice of them to do,
guys.
man. They listen to our show. And we got Big Judson Anderson. Big Judd.
Big Judd.
Said he loved the city vibes that we got going on here, man, with the music, the sports, everything we talk about. He loves the city vibes. And he's got a podcast of his own that's called, what the hell is it called? It's called Life Being Revealed with Judson J. Anderson.
Oh, check that one out if you get a chance.
It's super good, man. Judd uses the big words, though.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so because he's really smart.
Yeah,
so
he's really smart.
He uses the big words.
That's a Flint Town athlete there, if you don't know. But I'm sure you do.
Yep, got Marcellus Miller, man, like always, our guy, man. He told us to keep up the fire, and he also has a podcast of his own called The Takeover. Which is of the religious sense that some people would be interested in. And if Marcellus is watching, I took Randy up to your job last Monday. I had a late pickup. It was during second shift hours. You weren't there. Otherwise, we would have said hello to you. But I had Randy with me at the old ringing screw bolt, whatever the hell the name of that place is. And we got George Miller said something again. He mentioned Kelvin Torbert, and we were talking about the athletes.
Smart one.
That's
a big one.
I'm going to blame you for that one because you were supposed to do the modern day athletes.
I should have had.
Don't worry, I'm going to take a shot at myself later on. Trust me. Don't take that person.
Good call, George. Got to get in Torbert.
Now, how about this one right here? This one shocked me. I didn't know he watched our show.
Okay.
Chris Melfi, your buddy Chris C. Melf.
Oh, C. Melf's all over this.
Yeah, he thought I was a little hard on Ice Cube, man, but he put me and Debo. He said, you guys are hard on him, brother, man.
Melfi ain't going to lie to you, man.
I know. He's a straight shooter, I know. Ed Abraham giving us a blessing like he always does.
The best second baseman in Flint Central history, Ed Abraham.
Yes, sir. I would love to see him. I would love to see him, Jay Fish and Smith coach like a high school team someday. The team would be really good.
That'd be a really good squad.
Okay, and last but not least, we got your buddy Tim Eckel.
Tim Ass holding it down.
He said. House party of Boys in the Hood, he said Beach Street and Breaking Two Electric Boogaloo better than both of them.
You know you're OG when you bring out an Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, man. Boogaloo. TKO. Turbo, Kelly, and Ozone.
Was he dancing with a broom?
TKO with the broom. And he was on the ceiling, doing the spin up on the ceiling.
The Lionel Richie.
Yeah, the Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling, man.
All right, man. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And tuning in to those, Judson, Marcellus, tune into their podcast, too, man. Glad we could get a shout out.
They're good. I listen to both of them. They're really good.
All right, that's awesome, man. Okay, so we're going to flip it now. We're going to go with our roll call. And Ray came up with something pretty creative on this one, man. We got the magic hat right here. We got the magic DTV hat, shout out. And we got every old school Saginaw Valley team in here. And we're going to pull it out. We're just going to talk about a memory or a thought that we have from that Saginaw Valley school, right? That's old school right there. So, all right, Ray, I'll let you pick it out.
Okay, the Saginaw Valley Conference. This is original, old school. Let's do this.
This is going to be fun.
First one I got here, Randall, is Bay City Central.
Okay, you start with Bay City Central.
Okay, Bay City Central. Let me see. There's an old guy, family friend of ours, Bob Maldonado. He graduated from Bay City Central I don't know, 1958 or something like that. Vietnam vet, good guy. You and I were at Bay City Central. What was it? Last summer, last fall.
Yes.
We was on the field running around doing a little short video. Bay City Central, the Wolves was also My freshman year, my first exhibition game was at Bay City Central. It's the first team I ever played against. I was clipping all kinds. I didn't even know what clipping was. I was hitting a bunch of people from the back. Oh, yeah. What else comes to mind, Bay City Central? There's only one athlete, like stud athlete, that I remember from Bay City Central. Okay. When I was in school, when we were in school, now the basketball team was horrible. Yes. Well, at least, they might have been good when they played against their own area or whatever.
Yeah, but not when they came down.
But when they came, no, but they had one shooter. I remember his name. I couldn't pick him up from a lineup by seeing him now. I remember his name though. And, man, if anybody's from Bay City that's around their mid-40s that went to them schools, man, Chris Spielhopter was a shooter.
Spielhopter with a J.
Chris Spielhopter. Look, Bay City Central would play like at Northwestern, and Northwestern would beat them like 110 to 37, and Spielhopter would have 29.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, he was that guy. All right. So that's what I know about Bay City Central.
All right, of course, you picked the first one where I got the longest story.
Okay, yeah, shoot.
We're playing baseball. I'm a terrible baseball player, no doubt, right? But I'm playing second base, and this dude's stealing on us, right? And we got this guy dead to right. Steve Higgerson dropping a name, right? Steve Higgerson's catching. He throws the rock, and we got this guy I swear to God, we got this guy by 10 feet. And he throws the ball, and you know how you were to your second base. I think I'm Ryan Sandberg, and I go to put the tag on him, but I forgot to catch the ball first. So I dropped the glove to go tag him, and the ball's still coming, and boom!
Oh, hello.
Blown up. Dude, I broke my nose in 9 different places. Unbelievable. Yeah, shattered it. I'm staggering. Okay, imagine me. I'm standing on second base. I didn't fall, but I went like this, and I'm staggering, and then blood starts going, psh, psh, and then pouring out the bottom. I can't make this up, right? And so this is my sophomore year, and then and so the varsity and the bus are over at the varsity field. We're at the JV field. So we had to get a parent who had a car there from Bay City Central. Don't know who this parent is, but shout out to you. They drove me to the hospital to get patched up and get x-rays. It was the craziest thing I ever think.
Wow, that's cool that she did that for you.
Yeah, and then the bus picked us up at the hospital. We drove home from Bay City, and that was don't ever have nose surgery. I had to have nose surgery. This was the most painful things ever. But that's my Bay City Central moment, man. That's why my nose is so fat right now, because I shattered it at Bay City Central back in 93, 92, whatever year that was.
That was so long ago. I can't go back that far. I don't know.
Okay, ready? Let's do it again.
Man, that's a good one, man. Good start. Good start, man.
Real good start, man.
Okay, let's see who we got here.
How do you remember that shooter's name, by the way?
His name was always in the paper. Remember we used to check the scores and we used to look the paper? Yeah, Chris Spielhopter.
Yep.
The High, Saginaw High.
Saginaw High. All right.
The High.
I'll let you start there too.
Okay, man. We should have did one at a time because, man, I could tell stories like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it short and sweet, man.
Okay.
Obviously, Draymond Green, who's in the NBA now, one of the biggest superstars in the NBA, obviously. But I remember when I was growing up in Flint, okay? I didn't know who this guy was. I heard his name a few times through my dad, my uncles. Like, in Flint, we have Eric Turner, Terry Furlow, we have guys like that. In Saginaw, it's Tony Smith, the best player ever out of high school. We're talking high school only, not NBA and college.
Right.
We're talking who was the most cold in high school with the Saginaw High in the mid-'70s. Tony Smith, look him up if you don't know who he is, okay?
There you go.
Now, I didn't really get to know who Tony Smith was till I worked at Next Tier. Because me and my buddy Van, we were like the Flint guys in there, and we would always mess with the Saginaw guys. But it was good competitive banter. What else? Saginaw, my freshman year, the third game of the season, that's the first time I ever started in a football game was at Saginaw High, under the lights.
Under the lights of Saginaw.
Coach Hurd had enough confidence in me to start me that day, man, under the lights, man, okay. Saginaw High. Who else, man? We had Jason Peoples, Shantae Peoples' little brother. He was a good shooter at the High. They had James Reed, who I believe played at Nebraska. I'm not sure about that. I do know that he was a good college football player. A little younger than us. James Reed from the High. What else do I know about the High? I know Lamar Woodley.
Oh, there you go.
We got Lamar Woodley from the High. Man, that's about
Charles Rogers.
Oh, yeah, Charles Rogers, yeah.
Charles Rogers, yep.
Rest in peace. He's passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Forgive me on this. Jason Richardson, or was he?
Arthur Hill.
Okay.
Arthur Hill.
My bad.
I know. That's all right.
Confused on that one.
That's all right.
But that guy was a man amongst boys when he played. I wanted to.
Now, how about this? How about this for a memory? In '93, the year that we had that good-ass year. Now, I'm just talking regular season only. I'm not talking playoffs here. We're 9-0.
Yes.
8 of those games, we dusted everybody.
Yes.
Ran up that score like Steve Spurrier style. The only team that, and Saginaw was 0-9 this year.
Yes.
They didn't win a game. They were 0-9.
Yep.
It took a Chris Carter like Randy Moss like catch because Boo threw him a wounded duck in the end zone with under 50 seconds.
Yep.
D'Angelo got a fingertip on it. We won that game in like under a minute.
I think it was 17 seconds left. I think so.
Yes, and they also had the Valley's leading rusher that year, Anthony Martin. I remember Anthony Martin, Tony Martin, Anthony Martin, whatever they called him. But they almost beat us, man. We were almost not undefeated in the regular season because of Saginaw High.
You totally took mine. That was what I was going to say. I remember that the lead up to that game, that Saginaw team was 0-9. They played us so tough. And I remember the coaches told us this. They said, this is the best 0-9 team you're going to have to go against ever. And, oh, my God. Yeah, it was. It was a battle to the end. I think we won that game. I want to say 17 seconds left on that D'Angelo catch.
35-28.
And I felt like it's crazy because, like, I didn't have too many highlights in high school, but I remember having a really good game that day because I would block that. I'd have to get up to the middle linebacker on that second level, and I was getting there a lot. But they were just tough, man. I don't know if we overlooked them a little bit or if they were just that tough, but I think they were that tough.
I think they were in the. I don't think the coaching was all that great for Saginaw. I'm not throwing shade at them when I say that. But I would put them in the category of like a Flint Northern. They had a lot of Division I talent on their team.
Just didn't have it together.
But I don't think their coaches were all that great. We'll talk about Northern later on, though. But yeah, that's my Saginaw. They almost beat us, man. Good team.
I think we got a police escort out of there that day. For some reason, I think I remember that. Was that? I don't know. I'm off on that one. But anyways, Saginaw High, baby. All right, let's get another one. Let's get another one.
Okay. Midland Dow.
Oh, Midland Dow. You go ahead and hit this one.
Do you remember what HH Midland Dow stands for? I told you what HH stood for. What's HH Dow stand for?
I know you told me this, and I know I already forgot it. I have no idea again.
Herbert Henry.
Herbert Henry, there you go.
I'm sorry, Midland, man. He's supposed to know that. Yeah. Herbert Henry. Midland Dow. I got one story about Midland Dow. Because in football, I think in my 4 years, I only played them once. The Midland Dow Chargers. We were playing... Yes. Oh, my God. This was at Dow. I was on the JVs, okay?
Yep.
This was at Midland Dow. My cousin Tony used to go with my dad to the games, okay? Now, their Midland Dow's JV field was down kind of like Southwestern Academy, how it's like down in a hole.
Yep.
It was down in a hole. And I remember playing in the game, and I remember seeing my dad driving down that hill. And he was parked on the sideline.
He just drove down the hill.
He just parked right there. Him and my cousin Tony were eating.
That's legendary.
And another thing would happen before that, before they got to the stadium, my cousin told me that him and my dad went through a drive-through. There was a Mexican restaurant, and they had a drive-through. They took, the person that was in front of my dad, they took the order of that person, and then they peeked their head out and saw my dad, and they slammed the window shut. And when my dad got to the window, they wouldn't open the window. And my dad he did a Jim Cornette Dairy Queen on these people. He opened up that window and said, "Hey," he said, "Man, we're hungry." He goes, "Serve us or not?" My cousin, that's my Midland Dow memory. That's all I got with them.
Come on, Midland, be better than that.
Yeah, they were good. They were always a good football team, man.
Cool. All right, here's my thing with Midland. It never made sense to me, right? Midland and Midland Dow. So, they got the big chemical plant up there, right? So the Midland High School is the Chemics. But Midland Dow, which is named after the plant, is not the Chemics. They're the Chargers. So why it should be the Midland Dow Chemics and the Midland Dow Chargers. I'm sure it was named before or something like that, but it just always confused me. I always thought, oh yeah, we're playing the Chemics, Midland Dow. But no, we were playing Midland. So
yeah, that's a good point.
There we go.
I have to turn this volume. Okay, I'm already sick of these text messages going off, man. I'm sorry.
Calls, but we forgot his text messages notifications are coming in.
I'm a single bachelor, so you know what I'm saying? So my phone's going to be going off.
Over here blowing up.
Jeez, I ain't got time for this.
He's over here blowing up. Got the women calling.
I told all of them when I'm doing podcast business, I ain't got time for all that.
All right, let's move on. Let's get it going. Let's get it. Ray ain't got no time for them girls.
I ain't got time. Not right now, I don't.
Come on, ladies. Dang. Hey, hit me up, though. Just don't tell my wife. No, just kidding. She'll kill me. Oh!
Flint Central.
How you going to come up with Flint Central, man? We could go on for decades. Hit me with Flint Central, man.
Okay. I don't know what to say about Flint Central. I mean, I went there. I was there yesterday.
We talk about it every podcast, so, you know.
Okay. Just ask me a random question. I don't know what to say about Central, man. I mean, I went there. I know everybody. I know all the teachers.
Exactly. I'll just say real quick that, like, I mean, that's where I got my bearings, right? That's where I figured out who the hell I could be and where I could go. So that's my big up to Flint Central. All that combined, all these people that are still around, all that stuff, right? That's home, man. That's home.
Okay, I'm going to say one quick thing.
Yeah.
And yes, I share all those sentiments, okay? But before I went to Central, I did not want to go there.
Yeah.
Did my best to talk my dad out of not sending me there. Did not want to go there. But Father always knows best, so I'm glad he made the decision for me to go there. I can't talk about Central. I could talk about them all day, so I had to cut that one short.
Okay.
Because that's our alma mater, and we don't want to be biased
we'll
here.
Get to all those people. And the people there, that's what made it, man.
Yeah, the
people at Flint Central, that's what made it, man.
Yeah.
They were looking out for us.
They was looking out. Okay, who we got here, Randall? We got Saginaw, Arthur Hill, the Lumberjacks. Be nice, be nice. That was our rival.
I got you right now, man. The thing I remember from Arthur Hill was going up there for the playoff games, and they had our number in the playoffs until we got them. But I remember going up there and watching that team, and it was so cold. We were watching a playoff game, and I remember because they had called Eckel up, and Mark was on the squad, and he was, they called him up for Jay. But we would go cheer him on, when I wasn't on varsity yet. And I just remember watching those teams, man, and those guys, with like Sean Payne and all those guys, and just being in the freezing cold, getting in that playoff to get that feel of what playoffs was like at Arthur Hill. I don't know. That's a memory. I'll never forget how cold it was. I remember they even had the heaters on. This is the first time I seen those heaters at a game. Right, they had those little propane heaters, man. It was just crazy. I remember the cape, man. You know it's cold.
Ponchos, yeah.
Yeah, when they break the capes out, you know it's cold, right? You know it's cold. But anyways, that's my Arthur Hill memory. And those teams, man. Ed Victory, those guys were on that. Bill Griffiths, I think, man, those big guys. Those guys you just looked up to and were like, damn, this is what it's like. Playoffs, damn.
Arthur Hill was the kings of the state, early in our high school lives, man. They won the state championship, and then they had lost in the state championship the very next year, which was a close game.
Yeah. And
then we got them the next year. Finally got over the hump. Team that had Sam Swords.
Yeah.
Was Alfonso Boone on that team too?
Boone, yes.
Alfonso Boone, Marvin Wright played
Wright.
On it. Who was a good
State,
corner at Michigan State. Yep. Arthur Hill. You said Jay Rich earlier.
Yep.
Man, I've got nothing bad to say about Arthur Hill. They were the kings. They were the kings of the state, man, and those are the guys we were trying to beat. So
yeah, and we did.
I got mad love for him. We did beat him. We beat him last. Yeah, he who laughs last laughs the loudest. Yes.
All right, here we go.
All right, who we got now? Let me see. Flint Northern, the Vikings, Mackin Road.
Yeah. Go for it, Ray.
Well, I already mentioned Terry Furlow and Wayman Britt.
There you go.
Then we got, okay, I'm gonna say this about Flint Northern. I'm not gonna jock them the whole time, but I'm gonna say this though. When we was in school, their boys basketball team won a state title in '95, and their ladies team won. I know they won one state title. I don't know. They might have won two. I know they won one.
Deanna Nolan, was that time or was that?
Yeah. Yep. Deanna Nolan. And the wrestling team.
Oh yeah.
If they didn't win a state title, but they had some of the best wrestlers. They had a good wrestling team. So when we were going there, Northern was good at everything.
Yeah.
And everybody knows who Mateen Cleaves is. And I have to apologize to Robert Smith for not mentioning him when we was doing the roll call, man. Guy played 12 years in the NFL. Best player I ever played against in high school.
Too, Fernando, right?
Fernando, Minnesota Vikings, yep. But Robert is the best player I ever played against. Man, what can you say about Flint North, man? Justice Thigpen Sr., another guy, you know what I'm saying? Flint's first NBA player.
There you go.
I mean, they was all that. I'm not going to hate.
Okay, there you go, man. And you know where I'm going with this.
And George Miller, yeah.
I bet you can guess where I'm going with this.
George Miller hitting that free throw?
Dude.
Go ahead.
I'm going to save George Miller for another time.
Okay.
That's one of my best memories of Flint Central sports, and period. But this Flint Central, when the center scores a touchdown against the other team and it's the rival team, that made my decade right there, man. Yeah. Okay, fumble, 2-yard line. I'll get into the story. Well, I'll just tell you right now, right? We're at the goal line. We're going for an undefeated season. We're at like the 2-yard line. Boom. I'm over center, or got Boo back there, snap the ball. Somehow it comes fumbled. I don't know where it went wrong.
Whose fault was it? I'm putting you on the spot. Whose fault was it? Your fault or Fred's fault? No.
It was Fred's fault.
This is going on record. Whose fault was it?
Oh, it wasn't mine. I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
And whoever's fault it was, though, I give them a shout out because I'm blocking this guy. They're blitzing, of course. We're at the goal line, so they're blitzing everybody, right? So we hit the linebacker, and I'm trying to drive back in the end zone, and I look down, and there's the ball, and we're in the end zone. So I just fall on it naturally, right? What was the rule? I think the U-finger rule was, right? Big guys fall on the ball, small guys pick it up.
Yes.
It was already in the end zone anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just dropped on it, boom, right? And I swear to God, I got up, and I saw that ref go, boom. I'm like, oh, I just scored a touchdown. I went crazy.
That was nuts, man.
That was crazy. I remember it was the Comcast game of the week.
Yeah, Tom Skinner?
Tom Skinner called it. I had that recorded forever, man, until my brother recorded over it like 10 years later. It was an accident. He put the wrong tape and he recorded over my touchdown. But anyways.
Hold on, was that tape labeled?
It was. It was. I'm just saying. It happens. But anyways.
No. Oh, man. Now, God. Okay.
Anyways, when a fat guy scores a touchdown, that's infamy. And that was against Flint Northern, 1993, baby.
35-0.
35-0, baby. Boom.
35-0.
Undefeated. All right. Let's roll. Keep rolling. Keep it rolling.
Okay. See what we got here.
I'm glad you brought up that boogie thing, though. That we're going to get to that. At some point,
Okay.
we're going to talk about great memories. That's coming up.
Pontiac Central Chiefs.
Okay. Give it to me.
Well, you know my Daryl Dixon story. The hardest I ever been hit was by Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker. I'm just going to say it real quick because I already talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
I was pulling to the left, and I had him. You know when you're pulling and you feel like you're running downhill?
You're coming to get him, man.
And you just, I mean, I was pulling left. I was gonna lay him out too, man. I had him. He just planted himself. And when I went to hit him, his shoulder went up. He didn't knock me back, but a big old glob of uncontrollable snot. That's why they call it a slobber knocker. Big uncontrollable snot that was like moving all over the place. I couldn't do nothing. He knocked it right out of me, man. That's the hardest I've ever been hit. Now let me give a shout out to a Pontiac Central alum that went there. Played on the '88 Pistons, the year Isaiah sprained his ankle against LA. Walker D. Russell, their best basketball player, Pontiac Central.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So I can't believe we drew these back to back. So one of my best sports memories, and this is a good sports memory too, but it didn't end up so well. Pontiac Central baseball, right? So we're playing at home, and we're down by 1 run, right? We're down by 1 run for this doubleheader. We're trying to beat Pontiac Central, right? And I come out, they call a pinch hitter. I get up there. I think Jerry Lane put me in, Coach Lane put me in, and I was terrible. Let me say this once again. I was terrible at baseball. But somehow I smoke one down the left field line, and I get a single out of this deal. I smoked it. Whatever, right? Everybody's there. My whole family's there. They didn't come to a lot of games. They came to some, right? But the whole family's there. Girlfriend's there. Molly Murphy, shout out back in the day. What? Everybody's there. So I smoke this thing down the line. I get a single. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling real good about myself, right? And then Matt Ring, great baseball player, comes up behind me, lefty. He smokes one in the center field gap, right? I got a score, and I may have told you this before, but I was once called the slowest player in the history of baseball. And I got a score from first base on this double, right? And I'm going, and this is to tie the game up, right? And I'm running as fast as I can. Everybody's waving me home, man, it's coming. And the crowd's going crazy. Like, it's that moment, right? It's that moment I'm coming in. Here comes the throw. I slide in. Shh. Man, I was out by like 10 feet.
Oh, man. You got punched out by the umpire. The umpire punched you out.
And it wasn't close, right? It wasn't close. But it felt like everything in my mind was like, oh, this is going to be the play, right? But still, even though we lost the game at that moment, man, the teammates came out. They all gave me love. It was really cool, man. Like it felt like I scored and won the game, right? Because they all came out like, oh, you know what I mean? And I was out. I couldn't believe it. But those were great teammates, man. That was a good time. That was good.
Let me say this something, man. I think you're being kind of hard on yourself saying you weren't a good baseball player. Hold on, let me finish here. You're being kind of hard on yourself. I'm gonna say this about you, man. When you were a young man, okay, now I'm not putting you in the Hall of Fame here or nothing like that, okay?
Right.
But you're not as bad as you thought you were because, like, you were always a chubby kid.
Right.
You wasn't like benching 350 like some people were, but like to meet you and look at you, no, you didn't look like a ball player.
Right.
Just to look at, I'm judging though, okay?
Right.
But you were, with what you had, you were a good ball player.
Thanks, man.
Okay, with what you had.
Okay.
So yeah, you're being awful hard on yourself, man. You were a good ball player.
I 100% know I wasn't a good athlete, but man, I love playing. I love being part of teams.
And you played with good ball players though.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
you picked up things and
everywhere I played with good ball players. That was awesome.
Except for that Dave's painting team. Okay, next.
He's going back to Little League baseball.
Okay, we got here. And Dub, Flint Northwestern.
Okay.
Man, where do we start there?
Yeah,
all-time winningest city coach, man, the great Grover Kirkland. I met him at Potter School.
Potter School?
He didn't work there or teach there or nothing like that. He was just there. And I recognized him in the gym, and I just went up, shook his hand, and I introduced myself. Super, super classy. I mean, these are gentlemen of the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Grover Kirkland is in that, like, Perry Watson category.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Bob Wade, the guy that coached that Baltimore Dunbar team. I mean, I still look at Grover Kirkland like that.
Yes.
So to shake his hand when I was like a young kid, 4th or 5th grade at Potter School, and he smiled and was real nice to me, and that's the first thing I thought of when I think of Northwestern is Mr. Grover Kirkland.
Oh, that's cool, man. All right, I got one. This is a little later in life, so and I, man, forgive me, I don't know the names. You know the names, great. I think this might have been a Torbert dunk actually. What year did he come out of?
High school?
Yeah.
01, I think.
I think it was 01.
I think it was 01. He was National Player of the Year.
Okay, I believe this was that many years because I was a news photographer at the time. I was still working news. I was working for Channel NBC 25 right back in the day, and I had to go shoot some highlights of a game. And I just got my highlights because you go to an end-up game, you get those highlights fast, right? Because they score like crazy. So you get a bunch of those highlights. And as I was walking out of the gym, I had my camera down. This point guard, and I do not know his name, but they were on a fast break. And man, he was heading towards the baseline. He went underneath his legs with a bounce pass right to Torbert. And Torbert just, boom, almost tears the rim off, man. I think it was Torbert. I hope it was that day. I should have known who that was. But I was so mad at myself because I was walking out with my camera and I didn't shoot that. And I went back and I told my sports guy, it was Scott Johnson, by the way. Shout out Scott Johnson, who's at Channel 5 now. But anyways, and he was like, what do you mean you didn't shoot it? I'm like, I was walking out of the gym. I was done. And he was like, man, we needed that. He was so mad at me for that. But yeah, but that was an incredible dunk. I saw it out of the corner of my eyes walking out of the gym. The dude went underneath his legs, bounce pass, backwards to the trailer, and he just two-hand rammed it. I'm like, oh my God. So anyways, lots of Northwestern memories, but that one's in my head.
No, I got a couple more things about Northwestern before we move on. Because they've had so many great athletes, we can't cover all of them. But I remember when I was in the 8th grade, I went and watched Phil play JV baseball. You were on the JV team too with Phil. And I remember going with Penny, Phil's mother Penny, to Northwestern High School to watch Central Northwestern. I can't remember who was pitching, but they had a big yellow parking block for a pitcher's mound. I love it. Dude, I love it. A parking block for a pitcher's mound.
That is the truth. I remember that. I remember that being there. I couldn't believe that.
Now Now this is no laughing matter here. I'm getting serious this time. My uncle Bird and I, we were at a Central and Northwestern basketball game at the field house.
Yeah.
This is like when Ross Richardson played for Central. It was during that time. And that was when someone got killed at the planetarium during that basketball game, Central Northwestern basketball game. And that right there was the reason why when we were in school, when the city schools played each other, if it was a football game, we played the varsity played at 4 o'clock. Basketball games, JVs played at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the varsity played right after that. It was because of that shooting.
Yeah,
Central Northwestern. Now, me and my uncle were at that game. I mean, obviously we didn't hear the shooting, but we heard about it. And that's just, some people probably wonder why them city games were so damn early. That's why they were early.
I know, man.
But Northwestern, not trying to shortchange it. We go on and on, but got to move on.
There it is. All right.
Midland.
Midland.
Midland should have been the Chargers, the Chemics.
Yeah. Okay, what you got?
You know where I'm going with this, man.
Yeah, you know where we're going with this.
Look, I don't care who gets offended at that. I don't care now. 6-0 versus 6-0. They were number one at the time, and we were number 3. The number one offense in the state, which is us, versus the number one defense in the state. I don't know how many college scouts were there looking at D and Dre.
So many.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Homecoming night at Midland. Homecoming. Cold as hell that night. 24-13. Is that what the score ended up being?
I remember it was
should have been 28, but Panoff missed every fucking extra point. But the game wasn't as close as that score indicates because we just kicked our ass that day. But that was the day Clayton went down, though. Yeah. Clayton Burnett went down that day.
I have so many great memories from that game. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I remember it was like the free press game of the week, and everybody picked Midland to beat us, and all kinds of stuff, man. I remember I was sick as a dog that day.
Were you?
Oh, I was sick as heck, right? Remember I rolled into U-Finger's second hour. I'm like, I'm going home, man, but I'll be back for the game. I'm like, I'll be back for the game. So I went home and I slept. And I remember I got a giant thing of Gatorade, like a 64-ounce Gatorade. Remember they sold those?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had one of those. I was just crushing that. I remember I came in. I just felt like trash. And I see him in the walkways there between those cage locker rooms. You know, like you're going to Maisie's office. And he looks at me, stops. He goes, "You ready?" And you figure stops. He goes, "You ready?" And I looked at him, and he didn't even give me no time to respond. Boom! He slapped me across the face, right? He's like, "You're ready now." Like, he woke me up, like, he got me going. I'm like, okay, right? And that was like the greatest thing ever. We pull up, man. We pull up to Midland, and the crowd is just, I mean, it's so big, right? It's this crowd, and I hear all our boys that used to go. All our boys used to go. They were the guys with the horns, right? Tim Ass and Jason Smith, that Jim Fisher, that whole crew, man. They had those horns, and I hear them while we're warming up. We're stretching, and I hear those horns in the parking lot. I'm like, oh yeah, it's on. The boys are here, and then we just put a whooping on them. That was so much fun.
Put a whooping on them. Now that was a satisfying victory though, because Midland was really they're always good in football, man. I don't know what their team is like now, but back then, man, both Midlands were always good. Yep. And since this is the last of the Midland talks we're going to talk about, I will say this, man. I think it would have been cool to have been born and raised in Midland and played football. Because I always think it's cool when there's a small town that only has 2 high schools, and then just to play in a game like that, whether it's Midland. So I talked a little smack about Midland, but come on, God knows I respect the hell out of their football team. Good football program.
Fair enough, man. I got you. All right, got a couple more left. Let's see what we got.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Bay City Western, the Warriors.
The Warriors, what you got there?
The brown and yellow with the Wisconsin W. The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner. Government names are Robert and Scott Rex Steiner. They went to Bay City Western. They're the Bay City Western Warriors, Hall of Fame WWE wrestlers.
There you go.
Kind of earlier in the 93 year, 3-0 versus 3-0. Yeah. Bay City Western was actually, at the beginning of the year, picked to win the Valley.
Yeah.
That was it. We really blew them out.
Yeah.
We blew them out way worse than Midland. That's when D'Angelo jumped 10 feet in the air and made that one-handed catch.
Unbelievable.
Turned around and turned the Jets on.
Yep.
But Bay City Western, the 1 year I played JV baseball, I pitched against Bay City Western at Kersley Park. Oh, man, they were teeing off on me, man.
Down in the hole in Kersley Park.
They were teeing off on me, man. What's his name? Higgerson, Steve Higgerson, he didn't even want to catch. Fuck Steve Higgerson, man. He didn't even want to catch for me. Macho Macho ended up being my catcher. Macho Flores caught for me. I was getting teed off. I mean, these were cannons going off.
And I remember that game. Your dad was talking trash.
Oh, my God.
He was making so much fun of his own son. It was funny,
yeah.
though.
Him and Ed Welch were sitting together, man. They were, oh, my God.
But Ray, give yourself a break, man. That fence at Kersley Park was like 200 feet, man.
These guys were hitting the ball 430.
Okay, they might have hit one out on Robert T, but still.
These guys were hitting Robert T, man. These guys was hitting the top of St. Joseph's Hospital was still up at the time. That was against them, man. I couldn't pitch a lick. I couldn't.
Man.
But it was against the Bay City Western. I struck a guy out, though.
Hey, let me say this.
I struck somebody out.
All right, there you go.
I struck somebody. I don't know who it was, but he struck out. I struck somebody out. Somebody struck out to this sorry boy.
But you know what, though? And we got to be honest, too, because you know how we said, when Bay City came south, they couldn't win. You know, when our baseball teams went north to Midland or Bay City, it was over, right? It wasn't even fun, right? Because, it was days like that. But, dude, that's one of my best memories. I'm sorry you were getting showed.
It is what it is,
it was
man.
we had fun. It didn't matter. It was like, whatever, man. I mean, we tried, but, sometimes you just,
Okay, can we move on? Let's move on, man.
Dude, his dad was clowning him, though. His own dad, man. We were dying laughing.
Oh, yeah. Is this the last one?
Yep, that's it, man. The last one.
Okay. Flint Southwestern.
Oh, man.
Listen, man, I owe a bunch of people an apology, okay, when we did the roll call. I was supposed to be in charge of the old school, the old heads that are either played before we were born or whatever, man. Yeah. I was so caught up in like Central and Northern, though, and like Northwestern basketball players, I totally forgot to mention like the 1970s Southwestern Colts, man. We're talking probably the greatest athlete ever in Flint, Rick Leach.
Rick Leach. Right.
I mean, who's going to dispute that?
No.
Arguably. I said arguably.
Right. Exactly, yep.
You got Rick Leach. Joe Paterno said the best player he ever coached in college was Booker Moore.
Yeah.
Booker Moore. I didn't mention him. Daryl Turner, somebody else I didn't mention, played alongside Steve Largent on them good 1980s Seattle Seahawks teams. You remember them when they were playing the Chiefs all the time. Yeah. And there's one more, Rodney Feaster, Flint Southwestern, was All-American at Michigan, All-American receiver. God rest him, man. But, man, I didn't even mention none of them guys. So I apologize to Southwestern Academy.
I think I got Charlie Bell in, though. Didn't I?
Yeah, you brought him with the Flintstones. And one of my favorite guys, I don't see him that often. I probably run into him like once every 8 years. But when I do see him, man, we always have fun together. He's one of the funniest people we've ever met. I would love to see him here sometime. Okay. John Worsley, man, played at Southwestern when we were at Central. He was one of their linebackers. Yep. So I'm just giving a shout out to Worsley, man.
Okay,
Gotta give a shout out to John Worsley.
All right, sounds good, yeah. And Southwestern, man, it's hard to give love to because they're Southwestern. But no, seriously, I remember a few things from there. I mean, obviously, my first start on varsity was against Southwestern. So I remember that game, and it was a little bit of a slugfest, but we won that one, and that kind of got things rolling, because we won that first one after we had lost to them the year before. So we started off that season with that Southwestern win. That was a good one. I also remember playing in a charity basketball game there when I was much, much older with some old Lions. So it was like we were out there with the police league, but they needed some extra players, right? So somehow they got my name and my friend Jerry Pigger. But anyways, we're out there playing, and we're playing against Herman Moore and Corey Schlesinger and like people like that. I'm like, I think Robert Porcher might have been. I think he was. It was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But we played that little charity game, so that was fun. That was at the Southwestern gym. I remember that. Shout out to the police league.
Yeah.
Out there.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty cool, man.
We were running some hills out there last summer, man.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Is it called Flint High School? What do they call it? They change the name of that school every year. What's the name of the school now?
I mean, to us, to OGs, it's always.
Well, it's always Southwestern.
I think it's Flint High now. I think it's Flint High.
Okay.
Yeah, we went out there and checked out Dre and Andre.
Dre, Boo, and Stacy. Stacy was helping them out too.
Stacy out there, Winchester out there, and big ups to them guys for just putting out.
They won a few games this year.
They did.
Yep,
man.
they won a couple games this year. Good
that's
for them.
Awesome to see, man. Because those guys, man, they put in that work for those kids, and that's
all
kinds of respect for that.
Good kids too. We met a couple of them. They're all great kids.
Yep. Cool.
Okay,
Good roll call, right? That was a good one.
That's a good roll call. Good stories,
all right,
man.
Cool, man. All right, we got some other stuff coming up today. So do we want to do the one question right now, or do we want to just skip right to the main source? What do you think?
Let's do the question.
Okay, all right. We got one question each, and then we're gonna go hit you with our main source, which is our 5 top MCs. So what you got?
Well, you got to explain though when we do that.
We will.
Okay. So we got the question right now. You want me to ask you first?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hit me first.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you first. This is a principal question, okay? Of the movie variety.
Yes.
Like always, best to worst, okay?
Yes.
You got to do best to worst. Here's the 3 principal choices.
People who play principals in movies. That's what we're
movies
talking about.
or like a sitcom or entertain. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Fictional. It's fictional, but one of them is a true story though.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. You got to choose from. You got to choose from Rick Latimer, who was Jim Belushi on The Principal.
Yes.
So you got Rick Latimer. You got. They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman. You got Joe Clark at East Side High.
All right.
Okay. And Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
All right. I'm starting with number 1. I gotta go with Belushi, man.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right? I mean, he had a right-hand man, Louis Gossett Jr. They were holding it down.
Phillips. Yep, Phillips.
Yeah. There you go, man. And then I'm gonna go Mr. Belding, though. Then I'm gonna go Mr. Belding. I'm gonna hit you with Clark after that. So there we go. That's my 3. What you got on that?
Now, are you sure you didn't pick Belushi? Because you're probably scared Victor Duncan's going to show up at your house.
You know I said this.
Okay.
I'm scared of that dude.
Okay, all right.
If that dude walked in right now, I'd be like, hey, man, that's cool.
No, he's turned his life. He's on the straight and narrow now. Victor Duncan's turned his life around. Yeah.
There's that one scene where it's kind of like spitting. He's talking so mad.
God.
Like I'm like, oh, dude, don't roll up on me like that.
I would. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna agree with Jim Belushi, Rick Latimer, man. I love that. I love him. Look, I love all 3 of the principals, man. God, man, I hate to have a 3rd place guy, but I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I picked Jim Belushi first because he seems like out of the 3, he's the kind of guy I think I could be friends with. I could be friends with somebody like Jim Belushi. That's my kind of guy.
Sure.
That's my kind of guy. So I got Latimer number 1.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. Okay, Latimer's number 1. I'm not really rating it 1 through 3, but I'm gonna talk about them differently. So we already got Latimer out of the way. Belding would be the guy that I want to be my principal if I was in school. If I had to choose between the 3 of these, of course I always want Dean Ludwig. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's the best principal of all time. Sorry, Ange. But I didn't have my sister as a principal, so I can't say her. But Belding, I would want to be my principal. You know what I'm saying? Like how creative we were when we were kids and all the fun we had. That's our kind of principal, I think. If we had to choose between these 3. Now, if I was going to reopen Flint, if I had the money to reopen Flint Central, and they were going to send a whole bunch of like schools of choice, gang banging. Come on, man. You know I want Joe Clark as my principal, man, because he'll straighten that school out, man, and. I mean, I'm not putting Joe Clark 3rd, but
sure.
But Belding's 2, Latimer's number 1, man. Belushi wasn't afraid of Victor Duncan.
He was not.
He went at him with a ball bat.
He did.
He wasn't scared of Duncan. Got his ass whooped, but he wasn't scared though, at least.
We gotta watch that again.
Oh yeah.
That's been years since I've seen that, but it's still in my head.
Okay.
All right, now it's time to switch gears, and I love this. This is
What was my question?
Oh, shoot, I got to ask you one, don't I? I got a lame one, but I had to because I'm trying to get more in the holiday spirit here, right?
Ask me anything. Ask me a hardcore, uncensored, who cares? Ask anything.
No, not this one. I'll come up with a good one later, though.
Okay, but here's the rules for me, though. Anytime you want. This is totally up to you.
Okay.
You ask me anything you want. I don't care how personally. Ask me anything you want. I will give you an honest, I promise on my father's soul, I will answer honestly. Ask me anything you want about anybody you want.
Okay, all right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is an easy one. I'm gonna lower the temperature on this one. All right, man. Favorite Christmas jam? What's your favorite Christmas jam?
I got 2, man.
Okay,
it's a tie. I've always had 2.
Okay.
Christmas in Hollis, man. Hollis, Queens. Okay, Run DMC. Okay, Red was wearing a Portland Trailblazers jacket. Come on, man. He had a Trailblazers jacket on.
Such a great song.
That one.
Yep.
And that song, Do They Know It's Christmas Time by Band Aid.
Band Aid.
The European people. Yeah. Those are my two favorite songs, man. But I would probably say the Band Aid. I'd probably put the Band Aid one a little over the Hollis one.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll say Band Aid. The Do They Know It's Christmas Time? That's my Christmas jam.
Dude, if you ever forget this line, I don't even know. It's Christmas time, man.
Hollis Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens. Yeah, the Portland Trailblazers jacket.
And the Trailblazers.
Yeah, the Trailblazers jacket on, man. I think Jay had out a blue Adidas jacket. I think.
Of course he did.
Okay. Remember they had the elf on there on the turntable scratching the elf.
Naughty or nice, the beater. All right, anyways.
Okay, all right, good. That's a good question. That wasn't a lame question.
All right,
that was a good question.
Good. All right, let's switch it now, man. So, and who was this who brought up this topic? I want to give them a shout out.
My buddy Corey Robinson.
Okay.
He's from Mount Morris.
Yeah.
Really, really cool dude. I used to play a lot of softball with this guy when I was younger.
Yeah.
We used to hit the roads. I'm talking about like 25, 30 years ago. Real nice guy. He's one of those guys, he's like in his early 50s.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 28. He's one of them guys. Okay. He naturally looks like he's 28.
Sure.
He looks like you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gifted like that. Okay. You know, some people, they just always look young, man. He's one of those guys. Got that baby face, cool ass guy.
Well, Corey, thanks for suggesting this, man. We're doing our top 5 MCs, rappers. So we were not going to get into the semantics. Like, we know and we totally respect the history of all this stuff, right? We're just going to go with our favorites, right? You know what I mean? And we want you to debate it and tell us who your top 5 are and all that stuff. But man, when this topic dropped, I got so excited. I'm like, oh yes, this is right in our wheelhouse, I think, right here. So man, this is really cool, man. What you got, Ray? What you got?
Okay.
Top
we going
5
one at a time
MCs?
or just all 5? Or
however you want to do it, man.
We'll go one at a time.
One at a time. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Now the way I'm doing my MC thing, man, is if they've rapped on the microphone, I count that.
Yeah, that's
a
rapper.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody. So, okay. And mine's in no particular order. I just got 5. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just 5. First one I got is Rakim, man. I mean, come on, Rakim.
Follow the leader.
Follow the Leader. I Ain't No Joke is one of my favorite rap songs of all time.
Yeah.
So, that voice that he's got,
yeah.
and he just looks legitimate, man. Rakim. Yeah. I think Rakim's on a lot of people's top 5.
Yeah.
But I gotta have Rakim.
Rakim's the rapper that's on rappers' top 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a rapper's rapper.
Yeah, every rapper looks up to him and goes, "Oh my God, that's what he did." Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that's a legit choice, man. Love it.
Rakim. One more thing, man. Rakim. I wish that karaoke bars had rap songs. You ever notice that karaoke bars, there's no rap songs to karaoke?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like these guys here, the guys I'm gonna name, I could karaoke without looking at the monitor, you know what I'm saying? But they don't have any rap songs on the...
I know, man.
Yeah, Rakim.
Sometimes you just gotta bring your own beat and do it
Paid in Full. Anthony Joshua, the boxer. Are you a boxing fan?
Not a big one, no.
Okay, Anthony Joshua, who's a British boxer, he about 4 or 5 years ago, man, he walked to the ring, paid in full by Eric. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what you know about that? Man, you born in 1990. What you know about that? But he walked to the ring, paid in full.
Gotta get them dead presidents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's go, right?
Oh, yeah. So, Rakim, know you got.
All right, respect me some Rakim. Okay, you know where I'm starting with this, right? And I gotta break out the prop for this. Boom. Oh, yeah.
Shock G.
The original big nose rapper.
Shock G wore that. Those belong to Shock G. Go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, I told you this story before, but Shock G gave me his Humpty glasses after the concert. So these are actually the ones he gave us, man. He hand painted these, put a little date on them, pretty badass. So
yeah.
I break them out for special occasions, and I'm like, if I'm talking about my 5 favorite MCs, I'm going with Shock G, Humpty Hump, a.k.a., you know what I'm talking about? And, dude, and most people just know him from Humpty Hump, right? You know what I mean? But this guy has skill. You just don't even know, right? Check out this one. Hypothetical, political, lyrical, miracle whip. Just like butter, my rhymes are legit. Like, I'm just like,
man, that's really good. That's really good, Randy.
I love Shock G. He had the P-Funk influence. He had all kinds of stuff. Great producer, produced stuff for Prince and other rappers. Like, just incredible dude, man. And you know I had that interaction with him, but I loved him even before that. Just listening to his raps and how creative he was, how different he was. I mean, who brings another character into the rap, right? So he brought that fun into it, but he also had them serious raps. And of course, he ushered Tupac into the whole thing. Like, I mean, I love me some Shock G, man. Wish he was still around, but yeah. And check out if you ever doubt and you want to hear some creative MCing. Put on some Shock G stuff with Humpty. You know, shut up and just listen.
Yeah.
Listen, don't get me wrong. What?
I'm a kiss you and I'll kiss you back kind of guy, okay? The
Right?
Sons of the P, man.
Right, Sons
I'm a
of the P.
Sons of the P guy.
I
I
know,
like
right?
sex packets, don't get me wrong.
but Sons of
I like Sons of the P.
And that's where people kind of lost in there, you know. But he dropped "Kiss You Back" is basically an R&B song. You know what I mean?
That's a great
God,
song.
It's
a
is,
great
right?
song.
And then of course it gets Humpty at the end. If you listen to the extended version, right? Oh, that's just a great Humpty rap at the end. Yeah. He starts singing. Anyways, forget it, man. Forget it. But this guy would be two people on stage and just rocking it out. Just pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
What a moment in time, man.
That was,
Shane
man.
Park,
Right,
man.
we were there front row,
We
baby.
were
That
there,
was it.
man,
That
with
was
the
it.
Nation of Islam right next to
Nation
us.
of Islam. Yep. All right, man.
All right, good one, man. Okay, I got Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Yes.
Be Real, because he's like my Shock G.
Yes.
Like your Shock G, this is my Shock G, was Be Real. Because when I was in school, I listened to Cypress Hill more than anybody.
Yep.
So Be Real is my guy.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, his voice, man. Just, I love that whole thing, man. I heard him say once, like, I heard Be Real say, he said, we were the opposite of Public Enemy, Cypress Hill was, right? Because Public Enemy had Chuck D with that deep voice and Flavor Flav with the high voice, right?
Yeah.
And then Cypress Hill flipped it where, like, the high voice was the main rapper, and then Sen Dog would come in with the, when the shit goes down, you know what I mean? Like, he would hit that with the deeper voice, so, like, they just found a way to cut through and just get that going, man. That's great stuff. All right.
DJ Muggs, too, man. Good on the turntables.
All right, I got one Cypress Hill.
Go ahead, man.
You're on this.
Go ahead.
All right, listen. Just imagine a bunch of knucklehead white guys in a Chevy, not a Cavalier. What was it? Oh, man. Can't remember the car he had. I think it was Jason Smith's car. But anyway, we're in this tan Chevy, right? And we're driving down Carpenter Road. Place is packed. It was after a game or something like that. I think it was after one of those afternoon basketball games at N-Dub. And Jason Smith had a bass can. Remember that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he turned up the Cypress Hill. This is right when it came out, right? And then, like, these girls pull up next to us, roll out, and we're like, what you playing? He's like, that's Cypress Hill. And, like, nobody had heard
Cypress
it yet,
Hill
right?
shit, yeah.
Because Jason was always on that new stuff. Yeah, he's like, that's a Cypress Hill shit, right? And then, like, the girls start nodding their heads and driving next to us, and, you know, a bunch of white boys on Carpenter Road thought they had some street cred. And we were like, oh, yeah, they're bumping to our stuff. Anyways, Be Real gave us that moment, so good work.
Yeah, Be Real had Carmen Electra before Rodman did. So Rodman had his leftovers, yep.
Okay.
He had Carmen Electra first.
Now, I know you're not going to like this, but Prince had it before both of them.
Ooh,
Boom.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about that,
But
yeah.
respect, man. Respect to Be Real. Okay. All right.
Forgot about Prince.
My second one, it starts like this. I'm the king of rock.
There is none higher. Yeah, Run,
Dude,
man.
right there, man. I'll tell you, Run DMC. I know it's two, right? But yeah, I count them as one, right?
That counts as one.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, first of all, they just came out and proclaimed that they were kings, right? They took that rap game and just made it worldwide, right? And that was so cool. And the way and this is what rap I think is missing these days. And I know I'm an old school head, right? But like that back and forth, that pass the mic style, right? You know what I mean? Like boom, boom, back, and the two going
That's
back and
art,
forth.
man. That's art.
That is art. It's absolutely art, man. And they weren't afraid. I mean, he didn't call himself the king of rap. He said, I'm the king of rock.
Yeah.
Like, it just,
There is none higher, yeah.
There is none higher.
There is none higher.
And there's just rap after rap you can hear about those guys, man. And I don't know. They set the bar on the whole game, and there is no rap without Run DMC.
I had all their cassettes, man. I had the original, which was called the Run DMC album. Yeah. Then I had the King of Rock album. But the Raising Hell album, the third one, that was my personal favorite one.
Hell.
But that was the first cassette that I had that was clear. It was a clear cassette. And what was after that one? The one that had Run's House on it. Tougher Than Leather. That was a good one too.
Tougher Than Leather,
man, Crush Groove, man. They was good on Crush Groove. Full Force beat the hell out of them though.
I know.
Remember JB wanted his money, man. They beat the hell out of Run. Man, Russell. Remember they had the ice packs on their heads in the hallway.
Dude, my favorite Run DMC line. I stepped on stage at Live Aid. All the people gave and the poor got paid. What?
I wore my sneakers, but I'm not a sneak. I used to go to Potter, man. No shoelaces in my Adidas, man. My James Worthy Adidas.
Yes.
Worthy Adidas, no shoelaces in them.
Mom, no shoelaces.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I'm
don't.
talking about.
You can't fight that way though.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't fight with no shoelaces on. No, I found that out the hard way in the Potter Woods.
No, you will not lose. You gotta have that.
That's a good one, man. Thank you for giving it up for Run DMC, man. I appreciate that, man.
And we know that, there's a lot of other old school rappers out there, MCs before them, right? You know what I mean? Cass and all those guys and Melly Mel, right? But like, it was Run DMC that hit us. You know what I mean? And those guys are great, but like, man, they were superstars, man. Superstars.
Okay.
All right. Who's next, right?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I got Ice-T in my top 5, man. Let me explain why. Let me explain why. You know me, man. Being like a boxing fan and like a pro wrestling fan, I like legitimacy.
Yes.
I like people who are the real deal.
Yes.
Now, I know like the wrestling thing, you probably say wrestling, that shit's fake. But I'm talking about people who are legitimately badasses, okay? In my opinion, man, Ice-T falls in that criteria, okay? Dude was a Crip, a real Crip. He was on the Breaking movies and all that.
Yeah.
OG Original Gangsta, one of my favorite albums ever. I had a T-shirt that I bought at Paradise Express.
Yeah.
Had him with the white tank top, the black Scully, the shades. He was shackled down. Ice-T, man, legitimacy.
Yes.
I ain't gonna talk about him the way I talk about Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood. I ain't gonna talk about Tracy Merle like that, man. But Ice-T's legitimate. I'm a 6 in the morning kind of guy.
6 in the morning.
I like all that Ice-T stuff, man. That voice.
Yes.
I didn't really get into that Law and Order. What was he, a cop on that Law and Order? I ain't into all that.
I mean, it's great that he's been able to flip his career.
Well, yeah.
But we're talking about that rapper Ice-T right now. And that good. Dude, it's just cold. He's just cold.
One of my favorite Ice-T moments, man. He was on the Arsenio Hall show. Arsenio asked him, he said, who are some of your influences growing up, man? Like, who are people that you idolized? He said, you see that right there? He's pointing up at the crowd. He said, those two guys right there, those are my influences right there. It was a Blood sitting next to a Crip.
Wow.
They were sitting next to each other.
That's
they
crazy.
both stood up. The crowd, because this was during the Rodney King thing. The Crips and the Bloods came together. He said, those are my heroes right there. He said, that's what it's all about. He said, those are my heroes right there.
Yeah.
So I'm an Ice-T guy. I've always been an Ice-T guy.
I love me some Ice-T. I'm not going to I got this memory in Ice-T I just can't get out of my head, too. Like, one of the first times I started listening to rap with my boy Terry Kinsey, I'm just going to go back. We're at the trailer park, right? He breaks out some Ice-T, right?
Yeah.
And there's this skit on there, and I can't remember. I think it was the Iceberg. Call me the Ice, or just the Iceberg, right? That old ICE, what does it mean? Yeah, anyways, there's a skit on there. You know how they used to do those skits between songs?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's a skit about 2 minutes long, and it's all about him strapping a dude that they kidnapped into a chair and drilling into his head with a Black & Decker drill. Like,
oh my God.
I'm in 6th grade, 5th grade. I don't know. I'm somewhere like that, right? And the sound effect it made when the drill got to the guy's brain.
What it sound like, Randy?
Oh my God, I sounded real. I was like, he drilling in this guy's brain. Like, it was like a soupy kind of. Anyways, if anyone had that tape, because it was tapes back then.
Who had the drill in their hand?
It was Ice-T, and his crew, and they were beating this guy.
Hey, the guy probably owed him some money. He deserved it. He deserved to get drilled.
Anyways,
literally.
That's a whole other subject. It's the skits in between songs, right? But that one sticks in my head like forever.
I love it.
That was maybe my introduction to gangster rap right there.
See, you ain't gonna see something like that, a drill, a Black & Decker drill.
Yes.
You ain't gonna do that to somebody unless they really did something that was unnecessary or shorted you some money. Hey, man, the guy got what he deserved as far as I'm concerned.
Or it was just a way to shock people on camera. Right?
Yeah,
On the tape.
yeah.
That worked.
Yeah, good idea, too.
Well, Ice-T.
Thanks for the idea.
Don't do it, kids. Don't do it.
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Or Ice-T, good choice, man.
Okay.
Great choice, man. That guy's for real. Okay, my third one, I'm going to have to go with... No rapper can rap quite like I can. I take a muscle bound man and shove his face in the sand.
Ladies love Cool James.
Oh, Cool J, man.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, right? Every rap he has. You know what? I listen to some of his newer stuff, too. Like, I know it's crazy, right?
Is it good? New stuff good?
Yeah, it's just one, like, I mean, this ain't new anymore, but, like, Brass Knuckles, It's Time for War, man. He's still battle rapping in those things and going after it, and he's got that intensity, right? And then man, when I'm alone in my room. So, I mean, with the, you know what I mean? We hit the softer side out of him, too, which I thought led the way to all kinds of different rap today. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, I'm giving it to LL, right? I mean, you can go back to the old school radio stuff, right? Booming System, like, just so many good jams, right? And I'm just saying, LL's
another guy that was on Crush Groove. Remember, he was like 17 years old. He was on Crush Groove wearing that North Carolina blue Kango.
Yes.
LL's one of them guys, man. You could play his greatest hits album and you don't have to fast forward nothing, man. You can listen to like 50 of his songs, man. Doing It, one of my favorite songs.
God,
Doing It Well.
Yes.
I Need Love. I think everybody likes that song. Mama Said Knock You Out. One of my, man.
Around the
Way
Way
Girl
Girl.
is my favorite. That's my favorite one is Around the Way Girl.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you how big he is, okay? Now, look, we know that he's big. We know he's jacked.
Yeah.
This is a wrestling thing again. He was on Monday Night Raw one time. He was playing cards with Farouk and Bradshaw and a couple other guys. They had a cigar or whatever. You know who Booker T is?
Yeah.
Okay. Booker T is a large, muscular, big, huge, tall man. Now, usually when celebrities like, football players or like Karl Malone looks small next to Diamond Dallas Page. And Diamond Dallas Page ain't even a big guy. Karl Malone looks small. We know how big Karl Malone is. Booker T came up from behind LL Cool J, and LL kind of turned around. He stood up, and he had a white wife beater on.
Yeah, of course.
He was just as big as Booker T, if not bigger.
That's crazy.
When they was nose to nose, he was just as big as Booker T was. LL Cool J is a big man. From Queens, right? Ain't he from Queens too?
Yeah.
So, man, that's a good choice, man. LL Cool J.
Represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn.
I can't live without my radio, though, man.
That's right.
You know I can't live without my radio. They go on and on.
And you guys got the XM radio, man. The thing he started with Rock the Bells radio. It's bringing back all that old, man. He's got the old rappers hosting it and getting them making money again. So I think that's awesome too, man. That's other stuff, but I love it, man. That's great stuff, man.
He's another guy, man. Like, when you talk about like former athletes or entertainers, rappers, whatever. All the old guys, man, when you see them doing interviews and greeting people, these guys are classy, first class, you know what I'm saying? Shake your hand and they're happy to see you. He's one of them guys, man. Just a classy guy, man. He's like the Barry Sanders of the rap world, man.
No doubt, man. All right, who you got next? Barry Sanders of the rap world. I love it.
Okay. Ice Cube, man. Now, look, forget about all that Boys in the Hood stuff. I'm talking about his albums now, okay? The Kill at Will album was great.
Yes.
America's Most Wanted was great. Death Certificate was the bomb. The Predator. Lethal Injection.
Oh, my God.
I had all that stuff, man. Like Ice Cube and Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
I listened to Ice Cube probably just as much as I listened to Cypress Hill back then, man. Cube, I love his style. I love his flow. The No Vaseline song is the best diss song of all time. Of all time.
Better than Hit 'Em Up? Tupac?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I think I'm with you on that,
no
too.
No Vaseline, man. Oh, man. That was, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, because Tupac talked about banging somebody's wife, and he did. I mean, but I don't know, man. It's no Vaseline for me, man.
I love it, man.
That was
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead then, because that was gonna be my last one.
Okay.
I had Ice Cube, so this is one where we go inside on this, man.
Good.
And I'm going to go even further. I've been thinking about this a long time, even before this topic. And I'm like, I think he might be the best rapper ever. Like, this is my rationale for that, right? Not saying he's got the smoothest raps, but he is so versatile, right? And people don't think about this. I mean, what? He started this gangster shit, right? He's got the gangster side. He wrote all that stuff for Easy, NWA, right? All that gangster stuff. All his solo albums. But then you look at his solo albums, and they're so different, right? Like, you can have a gangster song, but then you can have a club song, right? I mean, his club songs are just as good as the gangster songs, right? You could do it, put your back, right? You know what I mean? Put your ass into it, right? Or We Be Clubbing, right? His club songs are just as good as his gangster songs, right? And then you could take an album like Lethal Injection, right? It's just laid back, smooth, right? Like the whole thing, right? Fool, you know how we do it. Just getting that vibe, right? The raps are fantastic, but he's showing you these different styles, right? And that's got me like, whoa, man, that's pretty sweet. You know what I mean? Like, I just love it. And then he went funk, right? When he redid Bob Gun, like 11 minutes. Like, he did it, then he just went funk on you, right? So, like, I don't know. He's just so versatile, his styles, and he's been around, being able to do this so long, and he's doing that Mount Westmore thing now, man, with Snoop and E40 and Too Short. I mean, come on, I don't know. So I'm gonna make an argument that he might be the best ever, but I get that there's different.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree. West Side Connection was good too.
West Side Connection, right?
They was good. What, man?
Lynch Mob.
The Lynch Mob. How did I forget the Lynch Mob? Yeah, the Lynch Mob.
I mean, dude, just so much stuff, right?
I bust a nut, get up, and put on my white Ewings, man. I mean, come on, man. That's an Ice Cube. Only Ice Cube could sound hardcore saying that.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. I mean,
with the mom's house, drop the load.
They're the best. Oh God, jeez. Steady mobbing, man. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. God.
Yeah, gotta have Ice Cube in
I
there,
know.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. All right. Next one.
Kumo D.
Kumo D.
That's my personal, one of my personal favorites, man.
Absolutely.
Dude, listen. I love that Golden Child look he had, man, with the black glasses. Looked like Eddie Murphy on the Golden Child. That hat, the red and black leather jacket. How You Like Me Now, I love that song to death. They Want Money, my favorite Kumo D song. They Want Money, man. You got to listen to the lyrics because that's how a lot of women are. Yeah. A lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women are like that. Wild Wild West, another good song,
He had the
man.
big glasses on.
Yeah.
He had a big
Yeah.
Wild West.
He was the first guy. Well, the first guy that I heard use the term bum rush. Remember back in the 80s and early 90s, you say, man, I'm about to bum rush this dude, man, if you don't leave me alone. Remember he said, if you're ever in a fight, he said, break out before you get bum rush. I think he was the first one to say that, man. He revolutionized the bum rush, man. Kids don't know what bum rush means, man.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, this is a great transition because I'm going to go right from Kumo D to Yo Bum Rush the show.
Chuck D, Public Enemy, man.
Chuck D, man. That's my last one, man. And I love me some Chuck D, right? I mean,
I do too.
First of all, that voice, right? And then, you know, if you know anything about me, I'm all about the message, right? You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a message in your rap. And this dude, he would smack you straight in the face with some of the stuff he was saying about politics, about the world, about corporations, companies. Like, I love me some Chuck D, man. And I got to say, I think, he's just one of my all-time favorites, right? Iconic, right? Like, how many people have sampled him, right? Like, you take an R&B song samples, right? Like, how many times have you heard a song, you're like, oh, that's Public, you don't even know their Public Enemy drops, right? Because you're just so used to that voice, you know what I mean? Like, he's just iconic, love the dude, one of the best rappers ever. And, you know, his raps aren't going to blow you away, you know what I mean? Like, they're not lyrically going to blow you away, but sometimes you're like, oh my God, they got a message in them, right? You know what I'm saying? So on a rope, but you treat it like soap on a rope because the beats in the lines
That was
so
so dope. Yeah,
you know
that was,
I mean?
yeah.
You know,
who was that? Anthrax.
Anthrax, yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, Anthrax and Public Enemy,
yeah, you know what I mean? You know, I mean, shut them down, right? You know what I mean?
Shut them down,
like Nike, but wait a minute. You know what I mean? The neighborhoods are broke, so put some money in it. I mean, come on.
Man, you got Chuck D with the Pittsburgh Pirates hat.
Yes.
You know, everybody knows Flavor Flav, obviously, with the clocks and all that. You got the S1Ws, Professor Griff.
Yes.
Who they said, like when I said legitimacy.
Yeah.
He might not be that big in stature.
Yeah.
They said that's the wrong guy. Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that before. Professor Griff is the wrong guy. You messing with him would be like messing with Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Wrong guy. The S1Ws, man. Detroit Bad Boy shirts and the Brothers Gonna Work It Out video, man. Doing the karate kicks. Detroit Bad Boy shirts out, man. Got Terminator X, man. Yeah. They was Yo Bum Rush the Show, Takes a Nation of Millions, Hold Us Back, Fear of a Black Planet. All that stuff was good, man.
All that stuff was great. All that stuff.
Welcome to the Terror Dome. Mike Tyson came out to that when he fought Donovan Razor Ruddock.
Got so much trouble on my mind.
With a cut-up white towel, man. Just gotta, No, this is before he went into prison. Right before he linked up with Desiree Washington, man. Coming out to Welcome to the Terror Dome.
I mean, come on. That's a perfect matchup. That song, Refuse to Lose, Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Yeah.
With Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, the white towel,
Perfect timing, perfect song, man. Yep. Man, it's crazy.
That's a good, those are good guys, man.
We can talk about this all day long. This is where we live. And we're gonna break out some more of this stuff too. We love the music stuff, but great suggestion, man. Love your picks, man.
I love yours too, man.
Dude, you hit me with Kumo. I'm glad we overlapped on one of them. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool, man.
Yep.
All right, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up. Oh wait, one more thing. I got a Chuck D story, but I'll save that for another episode. Well, my Chuck D story. But
Shane Park?
No, after that. He was out there, but I met him once.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that later because it was embarrassing for me. Bad.
Okay. All right.
All right. Anyways, all right. So shout outs, man. Let's hit the shout outs before we roll out.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick shout out. It's going to be two guys, but it's going to be the same shout out. Okay. I'm going to give a shout out to George and Marcellus's father, George Sr., George Miller Sr., and Jewel Baxter, which is Hank Baxter's father.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this really, really short because if I don't, I'm going to get emotional, okay? So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to make it really, really short, and I want you to just take over when it's your turn. I think about these guys all the time. Now, Jewel is not here no more, okay? But I think about these guys all the time, even to this day. When I got to Central, I'm talking like August of 91, when I first got there, didn't really know anybody. I think I met you and Mark like at Open Gym like a year, but I really didn't know you guys that well. I wasn't really part of that clique yet, you know what I'm saying? I played summer basketball too, you know, with George and, you know, D'Angelo and Jason Turner. I didn't know none of them guys, man. I knew the Turner name,
right?
But I had heard of Eric Turner. I didn't know who Jason Turner was. I knew Cliff Turner, the father. I knew Cliff and Eric. Didn't know Jason. Didn't know none of them guys. And let me see. August, that transition period, that was very difficult, man. Very difficult. It would have been so easy to quit, football and basketball. It would have been easy to quit. But when I was playing summer basketball, because these guys, they all played, you know, AAU. These guys were traveling all over the country playing in tournaments and like winning a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And Big George, you know, he was at all the games. George is a big man. He's like Marcellus looks like him now, but Big George was bigger. He was a big man. He's like tall. He's big, and he was always, you know, the loudest in the crowd. He didn't use profanity and he didn't like disrespect other players. He was just loud, cheering for his guys. And when I was fortunate enough to like get in the game, like in a basketball game, if I did something good, man, Big George was my biggest supporter, man. There you go, Ray. That's what and then when the game was over, man, he'd walk right to me, man. Ray, that's what I'm talking about, man. He'd give me a big old hug. I have not forgotten none of that shit, man. Now, Jewel, and I'm going to go back to Jewel Baxter. Pretty much the same thing, just a little differently, though. Jewel's more of a disciplinarian. Yeah. And this was football with Jewel, though, because Jewel was a football player. He graduated with U-Finger. He was the star running back. And Hank was my best friend in high school, Hank Baxter. And Jewel, if I was loafing or being lazy, he would grab me by my cage and motherfuck me to death and like, you know, do it this way, God damn it. He used to beat the hell out of Hank, but he got my ass a couple times too. And at first I thought he was like being mean to me and shit, man. But you know, when you get older, you understand why people do that. And then like Jewel was kind of like after we graduated, we were kind of like friends because he felt like the disciplinary stuff is over. We're men now, you know, get your beer out of the refrigerator. He's kind of like that with me, man. So my shout outs are at a time that obviously my dad was my biggest supporter, but at a time that I needed it, man, time I needed to be lifted up, needed to be, you know, it was Jewel Baxter, God rest him, and Big George Miller. I hope to see George someday soon, man. I'd like to see him again.
Me too, man.
So, I love both those guys, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's good. And you know what? It so takes a village to raise people, man. And that's cool. You had those you know, you had your dad, but you had father figures in your life that were elsewhere. And that's how it was, man, growing up with us. You know, you had other people looking out for you. That's what we need right there. Yep. Cool, man. Good one. I'm gonna roll with my mom's, man. Going with my mom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Mom's always there when you need her, man. Still to this day, right? Still to this day, mom's always there when you need her. Heart of gold, man. I mean, she put a heart in all of us, man. And she raised the whole neighborhood just like that, man. My house was always the place to come to, right? Like the whole neighborhood would roll there, and they'd all have relationships with the family. You could stay there, you could come, go, right? Like my house was the spot, right? And I know you had a similar situation with your open stuff, but mom's has always had an open door policy, man. That was it. And I think that's why I got that now. She raised 5 good kids, you know, helped raise 5 good kids and rocked it out, and she's still staying busy and doing her thing, man. So much love to moms.
Good, man. That's man, I gotta clap for that one. Damn,
right, man.
That's a good one, Randy.
Thanks, man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this show, man. We just talk and, you know, we get into it, but we want you to talk to us, man. Keep sending us the messages, giving us ideas. Thanks for everyone who has replied. Man, we want to hear about your 5 MCs. We want to talk about what we talked about. Give me your Saginaw Valley references, right? If you remember something about those days or something you want to bring up, man, let us have it, man. Subscribe to us on YouTube and this is about just having a conversation and being cool, man. We're not, you know, we don't need 8 million likes and stuff like that, but we do like to connect to you guys. We like you guys to connect back. So, you know, get with us and, man, have a great holiday, everybody. We got some cool stuff coming up for you. So stay tuned. We're gonna hit you with a special tournament bracket coming up.
Oh yeah.
So just stay tuned for that, y'all. All right. But hope you can stay good, everybody. We're out.